Michael Constantine, who played Gus, the father of Nia Vardalos Toula Portokalos in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, by far the highest-grossing romantic comedy of all time, died on August 31st. He was 94. Constantine's agent confirmed the news of his death to Variety. He died of natural causes. My Big Fat Greek Wedding scored a domestic gross of $241 million in 2002. Number 2 on the list is What Women Want with $183 million. The film drew a SAG Awards nomination for Outstanding Performance by the cast of a theatrical motion picture. As Roger Ebert recounted, Constantine's Gus specializes in finding the Greek root for any word, and delivers a toast in which he explains that Miller goes back to the Greek word for apple, and Portokalos is based on the Greek word for oranges, and so, he concludes triumphantly, in the end, we're all fruits. Variety said, Constantine fares best as a patriarch whose staunch traditionalism is at once dim-witted and big-hearted. Constantine reprised his role in a short-lived CBS series that also starred Vardalos and Nia Kazan in 2003, My Big Fat Greek Life, and the 2016 film sequel, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2, in which the wedding was that of Gus and Kazan's Maria after a procedural defect in their original nuptials in Greece is uncovered, necessitating another ceremony. In a review of My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2, the Los Angeles Times said, Constantine delivers an appealing mixture of bravado and bumbling. As Gus, a man claiming cultural superiority who doesn't know how to use a computer mouse. According to Gus, the Greeks invented everything, even Italy, and now he's on an internet quest to confirm that he is a direct descendant of Alexander the Great. In a sequence that will feel familiar to anyone who has ever introduced an older relative to Google, this quest will take a village. Before the Big Fat Greek Wedding phenomenon, Constantine was best known as a television actor who played Principal Seymour Kaufman on James L. Brooks' then hit-for-TV high school comedy Room 222, which ran on ABC from 1969 to 74 and also starred Lloyd Haynes as teacher Pete Dixon, Denise Nicholas as school counselor Liz McIntyre, and Karen Valentine as student-teacher Alice Johnson. For his work on Room 222, Constantine was twice Emmy-nominated, in 1970 and 1971, winning the first time. He recurred as the sorcerer on Electra Woman and Dinah Girl in 1976, the same year he got his own show, a forerunner of Night Court called Sirota's Court, on the NBC comedy in which he starred as Judge Matthew Sirota. It ran for 13 episodes. Also in 1976, Constantine played one of many German Jews seeking to flee the Nazis in the feature Voyage of the Damned, starring Faye Dunaway, Oscar Werner, and Lee Grant. He played the father of Christy McNichol's character in the noted TV movie Summer of My German Soldier and had a small part in Rooks, The Next Generations. He guested on a wide variety of TV series for decades, recurring on Remington Steele as an idiosyncratic businessman, and appearing memorably in a 1994 episode of Law & Order. Constantine played the father of Patrick Dempsey's Sonny Weiscarver, a 15-year-old who elopes with a 21-year-old played by Talia Balsam, in the 1987 romantic comedy In the Mood. The actor had 2 movie gigs in 1996, playing the judge in courtroom thriller The Juror, starring Demi Moore and Alec Baldwin, and portraying the man who places a curse on the hit-and-run driver who killed his daughter in Stephen King's Thinner. Then My Big Fat Greek Wedding hit in 2002. Constantine Joanides was born in Reading, and he began his career on the New York stage. In 1955 he served as understudy to Paul Muni, who played Henry Drummond in the original Broadway production of Inherit the Wind. Constantine's acting mentors also included Howard Da Silva. He appeared on Broadway in Compulsion, a play based on the Leopold and Loeb case starring Dean Stockwell and Roddy McDowall, in 1957-58, and in 1959 he appeared in the original Broadway production of The Miracle Worker as Mr. Onagnos, the headmaster of the Perkins Institute for the Blind, the school where Anne Bancroft's Annie Sullivan trained. He subsequently appeared in The Egg and Arturo Ui, but both had extremely brief runs in 1962 and 1963, respectively. While appearing on Broadway and on other stages, he made ends meet by working as a night watchman in a barker and a shooting gallery. Constantine made his film debut in Howard W. Cutts' Death Row picture The Last Mile, starring Mickey Rooney. Despite the familiarity of the material, the New York Times raved about the movie, declaring, "The acting, almost from top to bottom, we repeat, almost, is fine." As Mr. Rooney's fellow inmates, Clifford David, Harry Millard, John McCurry, Ford Rainey, John 7, Michael Constantine, John Barrett and George Marcy are entirely credible. Constantine had a memorable supporting role as Big John in Robert Rosson's classic 1961 pool picture The Hustler, starring Paul Newman. During the 1960s, the actor guested on Dr. Kildare, The Untouchables, The Twilight Zone, Perry Mason, Hogan's Heroes, My Favorite Martian, The Dick Van Dyke Show, to name but a few. He recurred on NBC's 1966-67 comedy Hey, Landlord as John Jack Ellenhorn. On the big screen he appeared in the Delbert Mann-directed, Antarctic set comedy Quit Before It Melts, starring George Maharis and Robert Morris, the 1966 Bo-Jest remake, George Roy Hill's Hawaii, starring Julie Andrews and Max von Sydow, 1968's Notorious Skidoo, Otto Preminger's monumental misfire of a counterculture comedy, in the words of the Austin Chronicle, travelogue comedy If It's Tuesday, This Must Be Belgian, in which he played a former GI in Italy searching for a long-lost love, The Misbegotten Justine, and Don't Drink the Water, an adaptation of Woody Allen's play in which Constantine played Kojak, head of the Bulgarian secret police. While appearing on Route 222, Constantine maintained a busy schedule, continuing to guest on other shows. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 was his final credit. Vardalos paid tribute to her on-screen father on Twitter, writing, Michael Constantine, the dad to our cast family, a gift to the written word, and always a friend. Acting with him came with a rush of love and fun. I will treasure this man who brought Gus to life. He gave us so much laughter and deserves a rest now. We love you, Michael. This story first appeared on Variety.com.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.